So the other day I was thinking, how many references are there in all of TF2? This game has been around for over 16 years. That's 4 console generations, 4 US presidencies, and 15 seasons of The Simpsons. That means that there must be dozens, maybe even hundreds of references embedded within TF2, and I want to find all of them. This series will go through as much of TF2 as possible and try to find every single object in TF2 that references something outside of the game itself. It could be a historical reference, a real-life object, a pop culture reference. If it's not insular to TF2, it's a reference. Without any further ado, let's get started. Though I can't find any confirmation on this, I believe this cosmetic references Bill Buckner, a famous baseball player, as this is very similar to a haircut he once sported. It also has a twinge of irony, as Bill Buckner's most notable moment was when he choked a textbook drive to first base to lose the World Series in 1986. I like to imagine scouts who wear this cosmetic probably choke their own textbook plays all the time. This hat is a reference to the character Jughead from the Archie comics. He's characterized as annoying and know-it-all, which fits the scout perfectly. The TF2 wiki said that this is based on a quote-unquote Italian tanker helmet, but I couldn't find any evidence for this, and there's no citation, so I'm here to rewrite history, because this and this look absolutely nothing alike. I personally think that this is actually referencing an M5 World War II era bombing helmet, as evidenced by the ear cups on the sides and the general shape. However, I am more than welcome to be wrong if someone finds an Italian tanker helmet that looks like this. This is the same hat worn by Bullseye, a character from the game Monday Night Combat. In fact, this, along with the essential accessories, was a promotional item given to people who purchased Monday Night Combat before the event was cancelled in 2011. I have no further context for this, as I didn't know this game even existed before researching it for this video, so... That said, I too only engage in combat on Monday nights, so at least I understand the game on a spiritual level. Despite its looks, this cosmetic doesn't come from an anime, which was shocking to find out. I mean, just look at it. It's actually a promotional item from The Witcher 2, mimicking the hair of Geralt from that game. It does seriously look like anime hair though, and I only ever seen it worn by people trying to do some sort of anime-style loadout, so... I thought this was a particular Metal Gear Solid reference when I first saw it, but apparently it's yet another promotional item from the game Tropico 4. I imagine the crossover between hardcore construction simulation games and team-based shooters would be pretty small, and yet, here we are. This hat is a reference to the Greek god Hermes. It's stylized with pilot goggles since Hermes, in myth, used to use his hat to fly places and deliver messages for the other Greek gods. This is also a pun, since Scout is also known for flying and moving quickly from place to place. However, instead of delivering messages to his friends, he's delivering random melee crits to new Gibbous 2-Fort snipers. This hat was a promotional item, also known as Easy Pickings for this series apparently. The CCE references Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, thus continuing the trend of promotional items from games that are more known in the game that they're in than the game that they're promoting. Seriously, I didn't even know the Cross-Comm was referencing anything. I only knew it as that one hat that snipers wear all of the time, and that's it. Though not a direct reference, I think this hat is a pretty obvious historical reference to Al Capone. Given that the term Fed is commonly associated with New York mobsters in the Prohibition era, and the hat is a fedora which is also associated with the same New York mobsters, it's a pretty clear-cut reference, all things considered, to organized crime from the 20s. This was yet another promotional item for a game called Hero Academy, a turn-based tactics game from 20... Man, what is it with all of the scout cosmetics based off frickin' RTS games? Seriously, this class is about moving fast, and these games are about careful, slow, painfully slow decision-making. What on earth is going on here? This is a reference to the TV show Venture Bros. This is a reference to the TV show Venture Bros, but can be a Breaking Bad reference if you paint it yellow. Seriously though, 2 Venture Bros Scouts cosmetics is a 2 more than the amount that I expected there to be. This is, guess what, another map game promotional item. Is there a super high crossover between fans of this fast-paced, movement-focused, first-person shooter and slow, decisive, management-based simulation games? Finally, an actual fitting cosmetic for the Scout. This is the hairstyle of Danny Zuko from Greece, an actual topical reference that makes sense for the time period of TF2. Not to mention, Scout was totally a greaser before the events of TF2, and definitely had a comb that he brought with him everywhere he went. This horrific monstrosity itself isn't based off anything. However, the name is based off of the name of underworld dwellers in the Invader Zim episode Halloween Spectacular of Spooky Doom. I personally hope that this hat is relegated to an underworld dweller for the rest of eternity. What on earth is this? This is a solid reference to the run-and-gun shooter Hotline Miami. Wearing animal masks in Hotline Miami gives you various buffs, and this one in particular gives you a speed boost. This buff directly matches Scout's updated speed and complements him very well. Out of all of these hats, this one probably has my favorite reference because its origin and abilities are tied directly with the class it's on, and personally, I think that's pretty neat. Probably what a good reference should be. Guys, I'm really sorry. I have no idea where this is from. I know it's probably from something, kinda looks like a, I don't know, some weird dragon dinosaur-like thing? Maybe some extraterrestrial... Man, I don't know. Can someone in the comments help me out? I'm really at a loss here. This is a needlessly complicated reference where the appearance and the name are 2 different references to similar things. The Thirst Blood is a reference to First Blood, a 1982 Rambo film. The appearance of the hat is a reference to a completely different war movie from the same war, named The Deer Hunter, from 1978. I was unaware that the phrase First Blood came from John friggin' Rambo, and wasn't a common war phrase, but unfortunately I had to be corrected by both the wiki and my wonderful partner. I did not know that this was a thing. This hat, man. This hat has not 1, not 2, but 4 references in it. This is an efficient hat, not to mention one of the best looking ones for Scout. Although I don't really get the whole Vietnam thing, but let's go through all of these references one by one. The hat itself is a Vietnam M1 helmet, setting the tone for the 3 other references to Nam that are tied to the rest of the hat. The name of the hat, Fortunate Son, is a reference to the Creedence Clearwater Revival song of the same name, a popular war song during the Vietnam War. On the helmet itself are 2 phrases. The first, Born to Run, is a Scout-themed twist on Born to Kill, the phrase on the helmet of Joker from Full Metal Jacket, another Vietnam War movie. This phrase was also on the poster for said movie. Lastly, the other phrase, or set of phrases I guess, are Better Dead Than Red and Better Red Than Dead, changing depending on the team that Scout is on. These 2 phrases were used as slogans by the anti-communist and pro-communist sides of the Cold War respectively. In TF2, these phrases, of course, refer to the red and blue wars that take place in the TF2 universe, rather than communism. Also, I am, of course, obligated to note that the same reference is made in the 2008 platformer to Blob, this time referring to red paint as opposed to the red team. Though I still prefer the Hotline Miami reference for the horrific head of hair, since it has more to do with Scout specifically, the time and effort put into this hat is absolutely incredible. This may be one of the best hats in the entirety of TF2, at least in terms of its design. This is just a helmet from the movies Death Race and Death Race 2000. The reference is only in name. Kind of underwhelming given the previous entry, but oh well, what can you do? This is literally just the Flash. Yep, that's it. This hat was lifted straight from the OG comic speedster himself. It's kind of incredible how simple yet perfect it is. It's almost weird that they took until 2017 for this to be added to Scout, but what can you do? This is a One Punch Man reference, specifically resembling the appearance of Metal Bat. This is a solid base for a Scout cosmetic, but it does make me sad that we never got a proper Saitama loadout for Heavy. He could have used the buffalo steak sandwich and started running around getting crits. It would have been great. Man, what could have been? Finally, the last scout hat reference I could find is Hephaistos Handcraft, referencing Hephaestus, the Greek god of craftsmen, fire, and volcanoes, which makes you wonder why they didn't give it to Engineer, the only craftsman in the entire game. So that's it. Make sure to let me know if I missed any references in the comments section or if I got anything incorrect. Also, the next episode will of course be Soldier, so let me know of any of the references for any of the soldier hats that are out there, and I'll try and include them in the next video along with the comment. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff, and I'll see you all next week. Stay tuned and stay lucid. Bye bye.